welcome to another Stateless Tech Insight. My name is Simon Wheeler, and again we have the privilege of talking with Murad Kaplan, our CEO and co-founder. And in one of our previous videos we were talking about the concept of, we just touched on encryption everywhere. And I realized that encryption everywhere isn't necessarily new, but it's historically had its challenges. I wonder if you could explain a little more about that.
Yeah, so basically we're talking about the concept of like a zero trust, and our organization feels like the need to encrypt every traffic and connection they have, which is good as a concept. The challenge we start seeing is, one, the amount of traffic is exponentially growing. The numbers of connections that need to be encrypted, that's put a lot of pressure on the resources needed for encryption, because encryptions tend to be one of the most intense services that consume a lot of resources,
right,
from compute, like in terms of like CPU and memory. So when you do that at a large scale, you run out of capacity and you run out of scale. And
right,
the way how it's being implemented this way, that you have to dedicate either physical appliances to do this encryption. So when you run out of capacity, you replace the box with a bigger box, or you have to over-purchase your box, but that's over-purchasing, or you have to go to the NFP approach, which is basically dedicating virtual machine or a container for every connection, encryption. But that also means like you will have to dedicate and limit CPU and memory for this instant.
Right.
Either it's encrypting traffic or not.
right.
So that in a larger scale, that doesn't scale, what we start seeing like recently with a lot of innovations for hardware kind of optimization, but also with the software, the new ways of doing things, for example, like microservices.
Right.
Like when it comes to networking, there's a lot of technologies and techniques to do network microservices. And by nature, microservices is very, very lightweight in terms of resources. So that's a great advantage, because when you start implementing microservices for encryption, now you can have like encryption at a very, very large scale,
Right.
of connections. That's where we see an exciting kind of path that to effectively do encryption everywhere using new different ways of software.
That's great insight. Thanks, Murad. So, to learn more about this, and specifically to learn more about the network services and the microservices and the micro network functions, we've got a number of videos on the Stateless website, these Tech Insight videos. You can check those out. So for now, thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing you soon.